E-businesses, online stores, digital marketplaces. Technology has completely changed the way we buy and sell goods and services with no signs of slowing down. From 2017 to 2021, e-commerce in the Philippines grew from $1.5 billion to $17 billion in revenue. In 2020 alone, the number of registered online businesses increased from 1,753 to over 88,000, with COVID-19 accelerating the growth of e-commerce.
My name is Carlo Calimon. I'm the president and co-founder of Startup Village. And for the past 17 years, I've been helping MSMEs and startups in various capacities. For Startup Village, we've been incubating and accelerating startups, mentoring them throughout their startup journeys from conceptualization up to launch and even up to growth. So I believe that one of the things that triggered the growth of online businesses here in the Philippines was essentially the pandemic. As we all know, everybody was placed on lockdown, which also forced a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs and even consumers, to look at online to be able to source their daily requirements. And this has pushed a lot of our MSMEs also to adapt to the changing times, thus forcing them into the online space. However, while the trend or the trigger was the pandemic, we all have to understand that being online was already present even before the pandemic. It just so happened that that pushed MSMEs in particular, or young entrepreneurs, to transition into the online space.
Filipinos had not always been quick adapters to e-commerce. Statistics show that before the pandemic, only 2% of Filipino netizens had purchased goods or services online. One of the reasons being that they were wary of providing sensitive information and sending money online to e-merchants. But the lockdown during the pandemic left Filipinos no choice but to purchase food and other essentials on the internet. This triggered an explosion of e-commerce transactions. Suddenly, thousands of entrepreneurs established their own e-commerce stores, with big businesses following suit. With this, Filipinos became more confident in the reliability of e-commerce.
I think some of the stage was set already prior to the pandemic, especially with various laws like the Philippine Innovation Act and the Innovative Startup Act that pushed for the preparation of infrastructure, support systems, funding, and the like that essentially prepared or opened the doors for online businesses, support businesses to come out. The government, I believe, also continued to encourage the presence of online channels as well, which made it easier for MSMEs to get into that space.
While the number of online businesses has grown exponentially, the modes of online selling have also evolved as digital platforms and technologies have transformed the e-commerce landscape.
I am Kim Lato. I am the founder and CEO of Kim Store. Way back 2006, e-commerce back then was just ad listing. Let me cite an example like ebay.com. You could buy brand new items and pre-loved items. You could even buy auction products. There's also sulit.com. It's more for classified ads.
Kim Lato started kimstore.com over the now defunct digital platform Multiply.
I started the business when I was a sophomore college student. I was into photography and blogging. During that time, I was looking for a particular lens over the internet, and I came across Amazon.com. I was so fascinated with the idea of you could already check out any products through online. So that was my eureka moment. And then I tried this concept in multiply.com. Anyway, it's free. So I wanted to check if it's gonna work here in the Philippines. Way back, Multiply is like Facebook. It was the social ID, and everyone that I know has a Multiply account. It's free, it's easy to navigate, it has a store builder.
I think that these early adopters were very important because especially they were the ones who proved the worth of being present online. As you know, with Filipinos especially, sometimes we tend to have a followers mentality. We tend to wait and see before we actually jump in. So those who accepted the challenge and embraced the challenge that the pandemic gave us, and who essentially began the wave of being present online, paved the way for others to copy as well, because their success encouraged others to follow suit.
Thanks to the evolution of e-commerce platforms, a consumer's journey from product discovery to actual purchase has become in many ways more convenient and more informed. With a host of seller options, customer reviews, and logistics bringing everything closer, Add to Cart has become simpler than ever. On the flip side, what does this mean for entrepreneurs? Is it even possible not to have an online presence when opening shop these days?
Hello po, my name is Abraham A. Canoy po. So, 22 years old po ako from Taguig City. So po akong online seller. Dati po akong fashion designer, kaya lang po nag-pandemic, na-stop po talaga lahat ng mga fashion shows, mga fashion events. Ang pinaka naapektuhan po ay industry namin, fashion industry po talaga. Tapos, isang taon, nag-try pa ako ng mga iba't ibang works, mga online works or mga work from home, like call center, ganito, ganyan. Pero parang hindi po yun yung calling ko. So, nag-try pa po ako. Online selling naman po. Dati, wala po akong puhunan pa noon. Ang meron ako is from fashion designers, yung mga tela ko, yung mga lace ko, yung mga pang-design ko. Ang trending naman that time is pandemic face mask. So, ginamit ko lahat ng mga resources ko na meron ako para mag-start ng business ko. Lahat ng retaso ko ay yung tinahi ko, ginawan ko ng idea kung paano ko siya maibibenta. Hindi ko siya in-expect na mag-work. So, first week pa lang nag-boom siya and dun nag-start lahat. Una po talaga ako nag-start sa Shopee. Tapos, syempre po kailangan po natin i-maximize yung natin, yung mga platforms. Nag-open po ako sa Lazada, kaya lang po hindi ko siya ma-navigate, hindi ko alam kung paano siya gamitin. Nag-request ako sa Lazada na pa-close na lang po nung store ko kasi ganito ganyan, hindi ko talaga siya ma-navigate. 1 to 2 days may tumawag sa akin na customer service from Lazada. So sabi niya, "Sir, ano pong reason bakit gusto niyo magpa-close ng Lazada shop niyo?" Sabi ko, kasi hindi ko talaga maintindihan yung yung platform or yung app. Hindi ko alam kung paano siya gamitin. So sabi niya, "Sir, tuturuan ko na lang po kayo." So, tinuruan niya ako. So, ayun, madali lang pala siyang gamitin.
Lazada and Shopee are two examples of Philippine e-commerce platforms that host third-party sellers and merchants. But they do not hold responsibility over the fulfillment of sales. These apps generate revenue through commission, subscriptions, listing fees, and advertising.
So, yung mga platforms po na kung saan meron akong online store, meron po ako sa Shopee, Lazada, TikTok, and sa Facebook po. So, ayun po yung 4 na active na platform kung saan po ako nag-online selling.
For many sellers, online selling was no longer a choice once COVID-19 struck. But while the pandemic may have pushed many entrepreneurs to transition to digital and rely more heavily on online channels, it was not without advantages.
Actually, sobrang dami pong advantages ng mga online platforms. First po is yung range po. For example po, nasa Metro Manila po ako, pero yung mga clients ko po meron po akong sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao po.
Following their transition online, sellers found that they could improve their operations workflow, compete with established players, and reach markets that were previously not accessible to them. More significantly, opening new sales channels through digital platforms allowed sellers to connect with a larger audience and build community around their brands.
Hi, I'm Luisa Pua. I'm the owner of MLP Marketing and Services OPC. Under the business name are my brands, The Conscious Mama PH and My Dear Baby PH. I started back in 2018. I just gave birth and, being a first-time mom, I wanted to spend more time with my baby and, having an experience working in a corporate for 15 years. That's when I realized na I can't be a full-time mom. So sabi ko, I need to have a job, but I want to have my own time. That's why I decided to, open an online business. Nung time na yon, madaming mga product na nire-recommend yung pedia ng anak ko, and most of them are not available here in the Philippines. Sabi ko, since these are recommended naman by the doctors and effective naman siya, gagamitin ko naman siya every day. So might as well, check ko na lang kung sino ba yung distributor dito, or might as well bring the brand here in the Philippines. That's where my online shop, The Conscious Mama PH, started. Yun nga, and then when pandemic happened, so lahat talaga nag-shift online, explore ko nga if I put my products in Shopee and then in Lazada. Noong una, matumal kasi syempre bago ka pa eh, 'di ba? When you shop in those platforms, 'di ba, makikita mo kung ilan yung numbers of items sold, hindi ka muna mapapansin or magda-doubt pa yung mga customers na parang legit ba to? It took me like mga 3 to 6 months bago talaga nagkaroon ng regular orders in a day.
The setup phase was difficult for many entrepreneurs since there was a rigorous process to register their businesses online.
I started registering my business early last year. Una, medyo challenging siya for me because syempre wala akong alam. It took me siguro mga more than a year also before I really considered na it's really time for me to file my own business. It took me mga 6 to 8 months bago ko talaga natapos yung buong pag-file ng mga business documents hanggang sa BIR. I'm already on my second year already. Ngayon, hindi na lang ako nagbebenta sa Shopee, hindi na lang ako nagbebenta sa Lazada. I have other platforms pa rin. I think I have Edamama. And then, madami din akong mga other mom and baby shops na established already na dinidistribute ko na yung products ko sa kanila.
Despite the challenges that come with doing business online, the beauty in e-commerce lies in its low barrier to entry. Pretty much any aspiring entrepreneur has a chance to develop a business by taking advantage of the online channels at their disposal. And while Philippine e-commerce has experienced rapid growth in recent years, there is still a long way to go in terms of making sure that this space is inclusive. E-merchants, particularly micro and informal sellers, need support on several fronts for them to be able to benefit from the many advantages of e-commerce and its platforms.
I believe that we all need to be educated about the potential of being online while also understanding that there are different support actors and different channels and different requirements that would help you become successful in online selling or having your businesses online. I think education is key, number one. Second, I think government still plays a critical role in providing additional support for these online businesses to thrive. Next is, I believe that there is still a huge gap in terms of logistics infrastructure that can pave the way for far-flung areas to also take advantage of the online space. Obviously, the online space is only one of the strategies or one of the channels to go to market. The other steps in the value chain and the supply chain require other things as well, which includes logistics, that there is still a gap present. Being digital is a great equalizer in its own right because it gives everybody the level playing field to participate. It's just a matter of being able to reach the right market, communicate your brand message properly, and take advantage of this digital space wherein I can now start selling to other countries globally. My message to aspiring and established entrepreneurs: try it, test it, experience it, learn from all of these different tools that are available, and just simply try it out. You won't know if it's gonna work unless you try it. We all have to understand that this is the new space, this is the new world we live in, and the opportunities are boundless in the online arena.